Hi, this is Jeff Wheatley, and I've been selling real estate for over 10 years now. Our team of highly trained professionals, along with our marketing plan, has sold hundreds of homes all over the DC metro area. And this is how we do it. Hi, I'm Jeff Wheatley with the Suburban Property Group at Keller Williams Capital Property, and I'm coming to you today to talk about multiple offers and winning in a multiple offer scenario. You see, I had an agent in my office reach out to me yesterday and said, Jeff, how do you win in a multiple offer scenario? So we took a little bit of time and we did two things. We talked about, first off, the psychology of the seller, and then we talked about the checklist that our team actually goes through and how do we think about it when we're presenting in a multiple offer scenario. So the first thing we need to do in any scenario, whether it's multiple offers or not, we want to understand as much as we can about the psychology of the seller. So we look at all the disclosures, we look at everything that's printed online to learn as much as we can about that. Then the next thing we do is we go out and we gently interrogate the listing agent to make sure that we understand what's important, what are the needs of that seller, so that as they mirror up with our buyer's needs, we can create the best possible win-win offer. So I would suggest, as you're putting together your offer, make sure that there's a great conversation that happens with the listing agent and you understand exactly what the seller's looking for to see how that mirrors over as a buyer in terms of our needs here. So the first thing we do, obviously, is seller's needs analysis we just talked about there. Then the second item that I suggest you do is write a very, very clean offer in 3 steps. My first suggestion is writing a letter or shooting a video that's going to pull at the heartstrings of the seller. That comes from the buyer directly, and it shows exactly why their house is so important to their family or whatever their needs are. Just puts a little bit of an emotional edge to their offer. The next thing we want to make sure you do is make sure that there is a clean summary page. You see, our team will many times get an offer with 56, 70 pages, whatever, depending on the jurisdiction, and all the terms are hidden deep in the offer as opposed to a nice clean cover sheet that makes it really quick and easy to understanding what they're trying to do. So make it easy for the listing agent. Give them a nice summary offer. And then the next thing seems very simplistic, but we also need to make sure that there is a complete offer. Very frequently there are terms or small items that are left out of an offer that just makes it look a little bit sloppy. A survey that was done about 2 years ago showed that in excess of 70% of the offers submitted in Maryland actually were missing one term or something was incomplete on it, making it potential for avoidable offer, which is not very fun for either your seller or your buyer, depending who you're representing. So complete offer is important. The next thing on my recommendation list is that we're working with an icon team, that team that is known throughout the marketplace, that has a history, that has good relations with the other realtors and serves the community well. So what that does is it lends credibility to your offer as opposed to something that's coming from a team you've never heard of. Part of that team you want to make sure you thoroughly vet is the lender. Does the lender know the top listing agents in the marketplace? Do they already have a relationship, or is it something that they're going to call them for the first time once it goes under contract? Part of that team is the appraisal as well. Now, this traditionally is ordered by the lender if they're financing on it, but we want to make sure that that appraiser that is ordered by the lender is coming locally and understands the local market. It's not somebody who just got their appraisal license, and it's certainly not somebody who's coming in from the next market over. We've seen people come in from Baltimore and undervalue properties by 7 to 9%. You need to make sure that it's local on your offer. And the final entity in terms of that icon team is the title agent and the title company, making sure that we have an iconic title company here that most listing agents in our marketplace recognize, give some additional credibility to it, a comfortable place to go and close. They know where everything's going to happen. The fourth component on our checklist is combining contingencies. Wherever possible, we'll take 1, 2, or 3 contingencies and narrow them down and package it into one contingency. makes it nice and clean for the seller to understand and just a little bit easier for them to accept as well. Number 5 is getting creative with the earnest money deposit. A couple things that we can do is, one is increase the earnest money deposit, maybe even above marketplace. We had a scenario last year where we took the earnest money deposit to the full purchase price. It was a cash offer, but we took it all the way up, put it all at risk after the home inspection, and we're the ones that won that particular transaction. We can also get creative in terms of multiple EMDs. We deposit a small amount now, and within 10 days we increase that amount. So we get real creative based upon what works for both the buyers and the seller's needs on that. And then the last is we try to manipulate the closing date and the funding date to make sure that it works for everybody. So a quick example that you should be looking at is, can your lender close it in 10 to 12 days when your marketplace might be at 30 days? If we took a offer and closed it in, say, 12 to 14 days, gave a 2-week rent back, it takes all the risk out of the transaction and transfer it just to the lender, so the buyer and seller are really well protected there. Just gives a lot more credibility. It's much easier to accept something like this than an offer that's going to sit out there for 30 or 40 days before they really know and have those funds in their pocket. Again, I'm Jeff Wheatley with Suburban Properties Group at Keller Williams Capital Properties. I look for any questions you might have. Thanks for taking a moment out to watch. Appreciate it.